Imagine walking through a crowded bazaar in Tehran. The air is filled with the sounds of haggling, but the atmosphere is heavy with frustration. An Iranian mother stands at a bakery, counting her reals carefully, unsure if she can afford bread today. The price tag mocks her, as yet another item has become more expensive overnight. This isn't just an occasional struggle, it's a daily battle for many.
This scene is a harsh reality for millions of Iranians. Families across the country are caught in an economic crisis that's only growing. Every day, they face desperation as they try to make ends meet. The cost of living keeps rising while incomes stagnate, leaving many in dire situations. Iran's economy is unraveling, and the hardships felt by its citizens are a testament to the wider crisis affecting the nation.
As we look deeper into Iran's economic struggles, a key element comes into view: the Iranian rial. Its value has dropped drastically over the years. Imagine this: just 7 years ago, 70,000 rials could get you a US dollar. Now that number has jumped incredibly to 700,000 rials. This means that buying even basic goods is a fight for many. For example, rice, which used to cost much less, now demands almost 1 million rials for one bag.
It's heartbreaking to see how this affects people in their daily lives. Wages haven't kept pace with the rising prices. The average worker brings in about 40 million rials a month, which isn't enough to cover the cost of food and rent. When the central bank tried to solve this by printing more money, it only made things worse, driving inflation even higher. This year alone, basic food prices like bread have surged by 50%, placing a heavy burden on families.
The consequences are growing as jobs become scarcer. Official reports claim a 10% unemployment rate, but the real figures are likely much higher, especially among young people. Nearly 1 in 4 young Iranians is out of work, with figures even worse for young women. This paints a picture of desperation, as industries, once booming, now stand still. The loss of stable employment, all due to the economy's struggle, hits young people and families the hardest.
Iran's industries are slowing down as well. Take the car industry, for instance. It used to be a major success story for Iran, but now it's in decline. Previously, factories churned out over 1 million cars each year, but sales have dropped. Sanctions and a lack of necessary parts have led factories to shut down, leaving skilled workers without jobs. It's not just big industries that feel the pressure. Small businesses are shutting down too, since people can't afford to buy like they used to.
As we continue to explore the layers of Iran's economic struggles, one cannot ignore the decline of its industries, once the pride of the nation. Take the car industry as a notable example. Once a shining star, rolling out over 1 million vehicles each year, it's now a shadow of its former self. Factories that once buzzed with activity are closing, leaving thousands out of work. In cities like Tabriz, where entire communities relied on these jobs, the closures have hit really hard.
Yes, this decline is not just about big industries. Small businesses in cities like Isfahan are feeling immense pressure too. With fewer people able to afford goods, cafes and local shops are shutting their doors for good. This is like a chain reaction, affecting not just the owners, but also employees who suddenly find themselves without a job. It's the ripple effects on entire communities that make this so devastating. When small shops close, it's not just economics, it's the heart and soul of the community that suffers.
The collapse of these industries in Iran is indeed worrying, and it's more than just numbers or statistics. It's about real people losing real jobs. Take young people, for example, who find themselves particularly vulnerable. The dream of a stable career is vanishing, and with it, the hope for a better future. Younger generations face a nightmarish job market, with almost no new opportunities arising. It's a terrifying thought for many who have studied and trained for years, only to find themselves without prospects.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the broader implications. With industries breaking down and small businesses unable to keep up, the Iranian economy is losing its capacity to innovate and grow. This limits the country's potential to diversify and move away from dependency on just a few sectors. It's sad to see a nation rich in talent and resources unable to use them effectively because the current economic conditions and policies don't support growth. The decay we see isn't just in the physical industries, but in the morale and aspirations of the people.
Let's dive into a part of Iran's economy that doesn't often make headlines: the shadow economy. It's like an underground river, flowing quietly beneath the surface. People turn to it for survival. With sanctions making legal trade tough, there's a thriving market for goods like medicine and baby formula. Smugglers, sometimes with ties to powerful elites, move these essentials across borders with countries like Iraq and Pakistan. This black market isn't small. It's estimated to be worth around 10 billion a year.
Fuel smuggling is a significant part of this hidden trade. Imagine trucks loaded with cans of subsidized gasoline racing across borders to Pakistan, all for huge profits. This illegal trade thrives in border areas such as Zahedan, where you'd often see trucks skillfully dodging border patrols. And it's not just about big operations. There's also an informal economy that includes street vendors and unregistered taxis. These jobs aren't stable, but they provide a lifeline. People work day to day, sometimes earning just enough for a meal.
Currency trading on the black market is another beast entirely. While the government may set an official rate, the actual trade in places like Tehran's Grand Bazaar tells a different story. Here, street dealers buy and sell dollars and euros at real, and often much higher rates. This not only drives inflation further, but also makes people question the whole system. The black market thrives because, frankly, the legal channels can't meet the needs of the people. It shows a disconnect between what the government offers and what people truly experience.
Indeed, while this shadow economy helps many Iranians get by, it also shows just how deep the economic issues run. The discrepancies between official measures and what happens on the ground are stark. People develop innovative but risky ways to cope, which highlights resilience but also vulnerability. This is just a patch, not a solution. Without real change, such as stable jobs and economic policy shifts, these informal systems will continue to grow because they provide what the official economy cannot.
As we turn our attention now, it's fascinating to see Iran's involvement with cryptocurrencies. You might think, how does a country under so many sanctions trade globally? Well, digital currencies like Bitcoin have become a vital tool. Back in 2019, the Iranian government made crypto mining legal. Why, you ask? Because it's a way to generate revenue and sidestep sanctions. The country is rich in oil, but using Bitcoin allows them to move funds in ways traditional banks cannot.
That's a clever strategy, but it comes with its own set of challenges. For one, the process of mining these cryptocurrencies consumes a lot of energy. Iran's electricity is subsidized, making it cheaper than in many other places. As miners use power to create digital coins, this has led to power outages. Imagine cities going dark because of crypto mining. While it does provide financial relief, the benefits are mostly for the well-connected, leaving everyday Iranians in a tough spot.
It's like walking a tightrope, isn't it? On one hand, crypto offers a path around economic restrictions. Iran reportedly processed over $1 billion in crypto trades last year, with partners like Turkey and China on the other end. And yet, despite this potential, the majority of Iranians can't tap into this market. Crypto requires specialized tech knowledge and equipment that's not accessible to everyone. It's creating a digital divide, where only a few benefit.
That digital divide is a real concern. Most Iranians don't have the resources to buy the hardware needed for mining. Plus, crypto values are notoriously unstable. Picture this. You're holding Bitcoin today worth a fortune, and tomorrow it loses half its value. The Iranian government is also conflicted about these practices. They've started cracking down on illegal mining operations, which adds another layer of uncertainty. So, while crypto offers a lifeline, it's a risky one for most.
Now let's jump right in and talk about Iran's oil dependency. Iran sits on some of the largest oil reserves in the world. This makes oil a crucial part of its economy. Just imagine, they pump over 3 million barrels of oil every day, reaching markets far and wide. In fact, oil brought in about $18 billion for Iran recently. But here's the twist. This lifeline is also a trap. When oil prices drop, even by a few dollars, Iran's budget feels the pinch hard. They plan their budget around $80 per barrel, but prices are often lower.
You're right. While oil revenue seems like a blessing, much of it doesn't go where it's needed most. A large part of this income is directed towards military spending and aiding allies, leaving very little for the social programs that could really help the people. Folks are in need of better schools and healthcare services, but the funds simply aren't there. Furthermore, as global costs for things like food climb, Iran's limited budget is stretched thinner, especially since they import a significant portion of their food. So, the country's reliance on oil isn't as beneficial as it might seem at first glance.
This situation really highlights a huge problem. There's this immense wealth generated through oil, yet ordinary citizens rarely see the benefits. The government spends on subsidies for food and fuel, but again, that stretches the budget paper thin, especially when oil prices are not as high as expected. And let's not ignore how global oil prices impact everything. Every dollar less is a dollar wasted, one with direct consequences, which shows why reliance on a single revenue stream like oil can be risky.
Yeah, and all of this is happening while many Iranians are trying to make ends meet with skyrocketing prices for basics like bread and rice. The lack of investment in essential social services creates a cycle that's hard to break. Without such investments, there's no development, and without development, the economy doesn't grow and prosper to help its people. This cycle turns into a trap for the average Iranian struggling day to day. The question then becomes, how can Iran reform its economic strategies to fix this imbalance and build a future that benefits all its citizens?
Let's delve into how sanctions have isolated Iran economically. It began in 2012 when the US and allies aimed at Iran's nuclear efforts, severely restricting its oil exports. This action led to a sharp fall in exports, from 3.8 million barrels daily to less than 3 million. Imagine how this impacted their revenue. Then, in 2018, the situation worsened after the US withdrew from the nuclear deal. Iran found itself isolated from international banking systems, making trade tough.
It's not just about oil exports. When sanctions hit, foreign companies, including major car manufacturers from Europe, pulled out of Iran. They took with them numerous job opportunities, significantly affecting the labor market. The departure of these businesses also meant reduced investment. Before the sanctions, Iran used to attract about $5 billion in foreign investments annually. But now that number has plummeted to less than $1 billion. This steep decline further deepens the economic trouble.
You're right, and this scenario has left an impact on other sectors too. Without the influx of foreign companies, Iran's potential for developing new industries has stagnated. Imagine the opportunity lost in sectors like technology and manufacturing, which have done wonders for other countries. Iran was left with oil as its main economic pillar, but without diversification, the whole system is vulnerable. Any shift in oil prices or international relations can destabilize everything.
Exactly. And the absence of new industries is a critical issue. While countries like South Korea have thrived by expanding into tech and manufacturing, Iran has faced limitations. Even the emerging tech startups in Tehran saw about a 20% growth in 2023, but they constantly struggle due to lack of funding. Tourism could have brought in money too, yet it declines due to political ripples. Places like Persepolis aren't drawing crowds as they once did. The lack of diverse economic growth makes recovery steep. These challenges are not just distant news. They are real and affecting people's daily lives. The road ahead for Iran is riddled with obstacles, but acknowledging these struggles is the first step towards finding solutions. We can't afford to overlook these human stories. If you found this podcast enlightening, please like, share, and comment. Your support makes a difference, and together we can help keep the conversation going about these pressing issues.